A message from the unknown. The Meridian observation post hovered in the darkness of space, its crystalline spires glowing with a faint luminescence as they processed streams of data from across the galaxy. Senior observer Kilara, her form shimmering in deep shades of blue, stood motionless, staring at the latest anomaly that had captured her attention. A signal, a transmission unlike anything the Meridians had encountered before. She expanded the holographic display, adjusting the filters to analyze its structure. It was a message, direct, simple, and devoid of the arrogance or self-importance that most fledgling civilizations exhibited upon their first interstellar transmission. Kilara's form rippled with fascination as she read the words. Greetings to all who receive this message. We are humanity of Earth. We seek peaceful contact and mutual understanding. We respectfully request that you consider our words carefully. Please don't make us angry. We mean this sincerely and with goodwill. Kilara's crystalline surface flickered with amusement. A warning. It was unheard of. Civilizations that had only just begun to master the fundamentals of space travel were often desperate for validation, eager to prove their worth. They sent messages filled with grand statements about their scientific achievements, their philosophies, their artistic wonders. But these humans, they led with a cautionary statement, one that was curiously devoid of threats, but also impossible to ignore. Kilara quickly forwarded the transmission to the Meridian High Council. This was an oddity worth discussing. Within hours, the council chamber, a vast structure suspended in the orbit of the Meridian homeworld, was illuminated with a symphony of refracting light as the most powerful beings in their civilization convened. The council members, their crystalline forms shifting in patterns of pale gold and violet, analyzed the signal, rippling with amusement. They warn us, yet they are barely beyond their own planetary system, mused council leader Xur, his prismatic surface shifting with condescension. Perhaps they misunderstand their place in the universe, added Councillor Ven, her form shifting to a shade of analytical green. Their technological development is peculiar. They have achieved FTL communication without first mastering gravity manipulation. That alone suggests an unconventional path of progress. A primitive species with an inflated sense of confidence. Xur concluded, we should guide them, educate them, introduce them to proper civilization. Kilara hesitated for the first time in centuries. Should we not study them first? Understand what makes them believe they are worthy of issuing warnings? Xur's crystalline structure hardened to a deep crimson. No. They must learn their place. We will send the integration fleet. A mere 50 vessels will be enough to establish order. The decision was unanimous. Within the day, the Meridian Integration Fleet, 50 grand ships of living crystal powered by bound stellar cores, departed toward Earth. Their purpose was clear: introduce humanity to the cosmic hierarchy. They would arrive in 6 months, more than enough time for Earth to realize the insignificance of their warning. Humanity's response. On Earth, in an underground research facility buried beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her quantum communication array with an increasing sense of unease. They had made contact, and the aliens had responded. The transmission wasn't hostile, but it wasn't what she had hoped for. It was patronizing, filled with words of guidance, enlightenment, and civilization. The tone was unmistakable. The aliens were coming, and they weren't coming as equals. Sarah turned to the UN Security Council meeting broadcasted before her. They didn't take our warning seriously, she said flatly. They see us as an emerging species that needs to be guided. The Secretary General leaned forward, his expression grim. Can we stop them? No, Sarah admitted, but we can prepare. Silence filled the room. The implication was clear. Humanity had hoped for respect. They had asked for peace. They had warned the galaxy not to push them too far. And now, they were about to show why. Across Earth, preparations began in silence. Satellites adjusted their orbits. Quantum computers ran simulations at an unprecedented rate. Humanity didn't panic. They had seen war before. They had been underestimated before. And every single time, they had survived. As the Meridian fleet continued its approach through the stars, they had no idea that the civilization they sought to educate was already preparing to teach them a lesson. One they would never forget: the arrival of the Invincible. The Meridian integration fleet drifted through the endless void, its crystalline ships gleaming as they sliced through the abyss of space toward their destination, Earth. They traveled in flawless formation, each vessel perfectly synchronized, their energy signatures humming in harmonious unison. Fleet Commander Nixus, an elder among the Meridians, observed the blue-green world before him with a quiet confidence. His crystalline form pulsed with calculated precision as he reviewed the latest intelligence. Humanity had not responded with desperation. They had not pleaded for mercy. Instead, they had remained silent. That was unexpected. From his place on the flagship, Luminar, Nixus turned to his second-in-command, Velix, whose form glowed with quiet curiosity. "Do they not comprehend the significance of our arrival?" Velix hesitated, her surface shifting into a pattern of contemplation. They responded once, but since then, there has been no further communication. Their silence is either submission or defiance. Nixus did not like the second option. "It is of no consequence," he said dismissively. "They have no history of interstellar warfare, no known planetary defenses capable of resisting us. They are merely an unrefined species awaiting enlightenment." He turned toward the tactical display, where Earth's orbital map flickered in precise detail. "Begin standard integration protocol. Let them witness the grandeur of the Meridian." Without hesitation, the fleet moved into its standard demonstration formation. 50 crystalline vessels spread across the solar system, each ship positioning itself in a mathematical sequence that radiated elegance and power. For thousands of years, this tactic had humbled countless civilizations. But as they took position, something unusual happened. Earth's orbital satellites adjusted their angles, not erratically, but deliberately. The Meridians took notice. "They're watching us," Velix murmured, her crystalline surface shimmering with unease, "tracking our every movement." Nixus narrowed his gaze. "Good. Let them witness what true power looks like." From the Luminar, a resonance pulse was emitted, a magnificent display of technology that rippled through space, bending light itself in a kaleidoscopic spectacle of cosmic brilliance. A silent announcement of dominance, an invitation for submission. Earth did not respond. Instead, their satellites adjusted once more, a fraction of a degree, a single, almost imperceptible movement. But to a species as mathematically precise as the Meridians, it was unmistakable. Earth was not ignoring them. Earth was studying them, and that realization sent a ripple of unease through the fleet. The warning humanity never repeated. In an underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the alien fleet through a vast quantum display. Every movement, every fluctuation in their energy signatures was being recorded and analyzed. She turned to General Maya Rodriguez, a hardened military strategist whose battle-hardened eyes never left the screen. "They're in position," Sarah said. Rodriguez exhaled slowly. "What do you think they're expecting us to do?" Sarah considered the question before answering. "They're expecting us to be amazed, to bow, to accept their superiority." Rodriguez smirked. "They really don't know us, do they?" "No," Sarah murmured. "They don't." The Meridian fleet had already made its mistake. They had given Earth 6 months to prepare. The first test. Above Earth, the Meridian flagship Luminar sent its next transmission. "We are the Meridians, stewards of civilization. We come to elevate you. Accept our guidance, and you will know prosperity beyond measure. Reject it, and you will know the emptiness of isolation." A warning wrapped in velvet words, a message of dominance disguised as wisdom. Sarah Chen's hands hovered over the console, and for a brief moment she hesitated. Then she typed the reply. A simple message. Welcome to the Sol system. Please maintain your current distance from Earth. We look forward to peaceful dialogue. And then, deliberately, mockingly, humanity sent nothing else. The integration attempt. Nixes stared at the response with cold calculation. There was no awe, no pleas for guidance, just calm, measured resistance. The fleet commander clenched his crystalline fist. They refused to acknowledge our authority. Felix hesitated. They did not refuse contact. They simply maintained distance. They are delaying the inevitable. With a single command, Nixus activated the fleet's next phase of integration. A beam of energy, known as the enlightenment pulse, descended upon Earth, designed to rewrite primitive information networks and replace them with advanced meridian knowledge. It had worked flawlessly for thousands of civilizations. But today, it failed. The moment the beam reached Earth's atmosphere, it fractured, redirected, scattered into a controlled web of quantum disruptions. The energy was absorbed, redirected, and neutralized. And then, a message arrived. Not from panicked diplomats, not from terrified leaders, but from Dr. Sarah Chen herself. Thank you for the technical documentation. We look forward to reviewing it. A silence fell over the fleet. Felix's crystalline form trembled. They captured the data. Nixus felt something he had never felt before. Doubt. He turned toward the tactical display. How? Felix whispered the most unsettling answer imaginable. They knew we were coming, and they prepared for us. Understanding too late. The Meridian High Council met in emergency session. For the first time in 10,000 years, their flawless order was shaken. Council leader Xur watched the intercepted transmissions, his form flickering between frustration and uncertainty. They are unlike any species we have encountered before, he admitted. Councillor Ven's form darkened. They are unyielding. They did not attack, but they are not afraid. Xur turned to the fleet's transmissions. Humanity's first message had been a warning. Now it was clear. It was never arrogance, never a bluff. It was the truth. And the Meridian civilization, for the first time in its existence, had to consider a horrifying possibility. What if the humans were not resisting out of defiance? What if they were resisting out of mercy? A new message arrived from Earth. Short, simple, deadly. Please leave. You will not enjoy the alternatives. And suddenly, the invincible Meridian fleet felt very, very small. The moment, they regretted everything. The Meridian fleet, once so sure of its dominance, now hung in uneasy silence above Earth. The elegant crystalline ships, which had been designed for enlightenment and control, found themselves in an unfamiliar situation. For thousands of years, they had introduced civilization after civilization into the cosmic hierarchy, guiding lesser species into what they believed to be a more enlightened existence. Never had a species resisted in this manner. Never had a species captured their technology. Never had a species warned them twice. And yet, humanity had. Aboard the flagship Luminar, Fleet Commander Nixus stood in stiff silence, his crystalline form shifting with subtle waves of tension. The room around him was dimly illuminated by streams of holographic light, reflecting the latest unfathomable data. Earth had done the impossible. The Enlightenment Pulse, their greatest tool for integration, had not only been deflected, but absorbed and analyzed. Now, their own knowledge had been turned against them. Felix, his second in command, spoke in a hushed voice. We are receiving new quantum frequencies from Earth. They are cycling through our own patterns at an accelerated rate. Nixus turned toward her. Clarify. Felix's crystalline structure dimmed. They're testing us. They're not just intercepting our transmissions anymore. They're learning our code. They're improving it. For a brief moment, there was only silence. Then Nixus clenched his crystalline fists. That is unacceptable. They do not comprehend what they are interfering with. We are not at war with them, and we have been patient, but their arrogance must end. Felix hesitated, then asked the question no one wanted to hear. Commander, what if we are the ones who do not comprehend? Nixus ignored the question. He turned to the fleet's engineers. Activate the planetary suppression field. We will restrict all electronic activity on their world. Let them understand that defiance has consequences. The darkness that never came. On Earth, in an underground military base, hidden beneath the Arctic ice, General Maya Rodriguez watched as streams of data flooded across quantum-secured monitors. She sipped her coffee, not out of nervousness, out of habit. Her tactical officers, some of the most brilliant minds in human warfare, were monitoring the Meridian Fleet's latest attempt at control. Commander, they're activating what appears to be a suppression field, one of her analysts reported. It's a high-energy dispersal wave designed to shut down electrical systems across the planet. Sarah Chen, standing next to Rodriguez, smirked. They're trying to turn the lights off. Rodriguez chuckled. Well, joke's on them. We upgraded to quantum infrastructure the moment they entered the solar system. At that moment, the suppression wave struck Earth. And nothing happened. Cities continued to glow with light. Computers continued to process information. Humanity's entire technological infrastructure remained completely unaffected. A failed God complex. Aboard the Luminar, Nixus froze as the realization sank in. The suppression field had never failed before. It was unstoppable, capable of rendering entire planets helpless. But now, here was Earth, still functioning as though nothing had happened. Then, a new message blinked onto their communications interface. A simple text transmission, sent from Earth to every ship in the fleet. You should have asked first. For the first time, Nixus felt something alien to his kind. A cold, unnerving chill. The humans were not afraid. The ghost fleet appears. And then, it got worse. Felix gasped as new sensor data came flooding into their systems. Commander, we have new contacts. Multiple vessels emerging from lunar shadow. Nixus turned sharply to the holographic display, his crystalline structure pulsing with alarm. A fleet had just appeared on their sensors. Not Meridian vessels. Human vessels. Hundreds of them. They had been hiding behind the moon. Watching. Waiting. Impossible, Nixus whispered. Humanity had not shown any advanced interstellar fleets in their transmissions. There had been no records of them possessing anything beyond rudimentary space stations. And yet, here they were. The Ghost Fleet. The unseen power of humanity. In a classified lunar facility, Admiral James Calloway stood before his crew. His fleet had been kept hidden in the dark side of the moon for one reason. To let the Meridians make the first move. And they had. Calloway's voice was steady as he gave the order. Transmit the next message. From the surface of the moon, an encoded quantum pulse was sent directly to the Meridian flagship. The message was 3 simple words. Last chance. Leave. Nix's crystalline form fractured slightly at the implications. Humanity was not attacking. Humanity was waiting. For them to make the next mistake. Nixus clenched his fists. We are the stewards of civilization. We do not negotiate with primitives. Felix's voice was barely above a whisper. Commander, they don't look primitive anymore. Nixus turned to the Meridian High Council, his transmission open for all to hear. We have underestimated this species. For the first time in the history of the Meridian Empire, the invincible fleet hesitated. And across the galaxy, something far more terrifying was happening. The Meridians weren't the only ones watching Earth. The other galactic powers take notice. Hundreds of alien civilizations had observed the Meridians' conquests. Most had been powerless to stop them. But as they watched humanity resist, watched them defy the very power that had conquered so many before, whispers spread across the void. The humans are different. Across the stars, war councils convened. In hidden worlds, old empires stirred. For the first time in millennia, The balance of power in the galaxy was uncertain. And in the Meridian High Council, deep in their home system, an emergency order was issued. Prepare for war. The humans must be stopped before they spread. Back on Earth, Sarah Chen watched as the data continued to flow. The Ghost Fleet remained in position, awaiting further commands. Maya Rodriguez cracked her knuckles. So, what do we do now? Sarah smiled. Now, we let them make the next mistake. Humanity had been nice. Humanity had been patient. But if the Meridians pushed again, they would understand exactly why humanity had warned them in the first place. Because this time, humanity wouldn't stop.